Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, HawaiiSportsRadio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel as we do this and every Monday. But thank you for hanging out with us live every single weekday from 8 to 10 or checking us out on demand wherever you get your podcasts. Sorry that we are late. The traffic was very unexpected today on Ala Boulevard in Nimitz. Had no idea. I mean, and the rain, it is not raining, so I wasn't anticipating traffic to be like that, but they apparently had one additional lane closed than usual, so then it backed up traffic like crazy, and I was just driving like, what is this traffic? Because usually if there's an alert of an accident or there's an accident, the road's closed on like the freeway or something, then I always kind of text Paul. It's like, oh, I got a traffic alert, just be prepared. There might be traffic on our way in. This is like the first time we've been this late for the show on unexpected traffic. I'm like, because we've been where we're running in maybe like a minute late or so, but this has got to be the late. We're sorry we kept everyone waiting.
Yeah, like typically it's, oh, sorry, like we're cutting it a minute late, or we're sprinting in right on and we're kind of catching our breath and collecting our thoughts as we're going on the air. This one was that plus a bit more, like you said, a lane closure seemingly being the reason.
The culprit.
But that's not like a new thing. Like it was one extra lane closed today, but like lane closures aren't out of the ordinary. I feel like they should be pretty easy. It's like very one then the other, and everybody just drives. Well, it's only
because that area, it's already closed one lane.
Yeah,
so they had to reconfigure everything. And then now and I don't even know. I don't know if they closed it because there's like that weird puddle on that turn, because that's all it looked like. I didn't notice any like construction or anything. And yeah, it's the part, if anyone's driving in that area, it's like that part in front of like downtown Aloha Tower. And then the part where it's closed off is like, just past maybe like, what is that? Alakea Street or something? I don't know. But Bishop area. And you're just like, what is going on?
It's very
we ran in, and then of course, like, and just so happened, Paul and I were pretty much next to each other in traffic. Not really, like, I'm trying to gauge where he was, and then we're trying to, like, where are you? Clearly talking on the phone, hands free. So it's like, where are you? And then we come into the parking lot pretty much almost the same time, and then there's a backup in the parking lot that we have here at our building, and it was just a whole thing. But welcome to the show, and thank you for sticking by and listening through all those public service announcements and hanging out with us. And if you are waiting so anxiously for us, now we are here. So again, thank you for tuning in and bearing with us, because that was pretty crazy. Thank you to our Chaz Ontai for kind of putting in those fillers so that we wouldn't have dead air at least, and it gave us time to literally run into the studio and get everything set up and make sure our YouTube is set up and everything for like all of you guys that are listening and watching. But woo!
It's purely an insane morning, which is how I feel about, I think, what's still going to be our first topic of the day if we're going to talk about the Honolulu Marathon, which is all of you people are crazy and in the best way. I mean, sending all of my congratulations, my kudos, my jealousy, whatever it may be, sending it to all of you who are not just tough enough to run a marathon, but run a marathon in the rain. I know that a couple of people close to me ran it. Shout out to Mitch from KHON and Cam, the associate head coach at HPU, both of them finishing the Honolulu Marathon. That's the other thing. Not only did they participate in it, but they finished it as well. And it didn't come without a cost, obviously, with the rain like that. I'm sure the blisters for many, many people are pretty rough today, but I'm sending my congratulations especially out to those two as they both finished. I was cheering them on yesterday as I sat on my couch all day.
I did get up early enough to get out there like I said I would. This is maybe like the 4th, 5th year in a row. Well, they didn't have any in 2020, I think. I forget if they canceled it or not.
We
I don't
can
know.
pretend
but
that didn't
pretty
happen.
much every time that I've been living in that area, I get up and I go and I like to cheer and show video. And then just so happened I told some of my friends to look out for me. I was able to find one friend, and he gave me a high five, and I got him on video. Shout out Jared Vieira.
Woo!
Jared's the one that I told you guys about this when I was in Vegas. Jared's the one. He's like one of my longest friends that I had since the Jamba Juice days. But he was the one that I guess on during work, he was like checking in on a certain business. And then he heard my voice coming from the radio. And he's like, this is the first time I've heard you on the radio. You're talking nonsense, but you sound professional. Because Jared, to his defense, he's not saying that like I'm talking. Well, sometimes I talk nonsense. You guys know that. But he's just not. He's just not a sports fan. So it was kind of a fun joke because he's like, you're talking nonsense, because he probably had no idea what I was talking about at that time when we were in Vegas. The only part he probably did understand was being in Vegas. But yeah, shout out to Jared. Shout out to my friend Jackie. I think I just missed her. It was over or around 40. I know it's like 42,000 registrants. Probably, I'm assuming maybe around 40,000 did the run, and from all levels, you know, everyone. You have like Keiki doing it. You have babies and moms pushing their babies in strollers, and then you have the kupuna doing it. And man, shout out to all of you guys, people in costumes. That is always fun to look at every year. I mean, look at this. I'm popping it up on our YouTube. Like tons of people. The fireworks are going off in the background. So again, shout out to everybody that participated. Even if you did not finish, but if you just got there and tried it, again, that's way more.
Ran even a little bit of it.
If you just cross the starting line, because you have to get up early, find parking, shuttle in, get there, right? Like, I rolled out of bed at like 4:45 to go down there by 5. Like everyone that at least had to get to the starting line.
I have to imagine 4 a.m. at the very latest that they were able to get up.
They were getting ready, so everyone like applaud you guys.
Yeah, I mean, could not agree more.
Well, like Paul said, while the rest of us were running around.
I rooted for you all from my couch.
And there was, I mean, from the pure sports standpoint and the competitive part of it, there was a couple of first-time winners in the men's and women's categories, and they beat former winners. That I think the women's side, she beat a winner that went back-to-back the last couple of years, was going for the three-peat. So 2 brand new winners in the women's wheelchair race. It was a first-timer. She's a Paralympic athlete. And again, sorry, I didn't get a chance to pull up my notes and my computer and all that stuff because we ran in. But we'll get it for you later on in the show if you guys didn't see it via our friends at Hawai'i News Now and all their reporting that they did on the event. But yeah, because I was watching it on TV. Again, I went out there to cheer. I couldn't fall asleep right away, so I was watching the coverage on Hawai'i News Now of the marathon. And yeah, the wheelchair winner, she's done like the Boston Marathon. She's been in the Olympics, and it was her first time doing the Honolulu Marathon, and she won it. The men's wheelchair race was won by someone who won last year, someone from Japan. So overall, it was awesome, and like the weather, everyone that stuck it out in the weather, it was really, really cool. Except for the people that are complaining about the fireworks as if it was the first time it's ever happened. I'm like, I got to chuckle at that. And we talked about this on Friday where I was saying, when the first time I moved into that area, it did startle me because I had no idea. But after that, you're kind of prepared for it. And then you're like, all right, this is cool. It's fine. I think it's a benefit to the runners for sure because like it kind of gets you that initial start, right? More than just one starting gun. Like you have the fireworks and everyone's crossing the starting line and getting motivated. Some people I saw were still trying to like jog backwards because they wanted to see the fireworks because it's quite literally like at the starting line. So after you pass, you're just like, I want to, because it went on for a long time. I always forget how long it is. It was maybe like a good 15 minutes, I feel like, that it was just going off. And then it stopped for a little bit. And then it started, like there was maybe like a minute worth of fireworks, maybe like 20 minutes after that. Like, oh, bonus fireworks.
It's the encore.
Yeah. So it was overall a good time, except the weather was crazy. I had to drive around a little bit yesterday.
We're still on flood watch per my laptop. So.
Oh my gosh, my laptop does not want to turn on right now. As she just is like.
Well, today hasn't been difficult enough to begin with. Hasn't thrown enough speed bumps in our way. So we just want to make sure that you're getting your daily dose of conflict, of early turmoil. What other dramatic words and phrases can I use?
Don't know.
I don't know.
That's
Either
exactly
way.
what it feels like, as she is not wanting to cooperate.
That's
right
okay.
now,
Maybe she'll come on during the break, and then we can kind of just roll from there, you know?
I hope so. because that's all I just gotta reminds me of that time when Michael had stolen my charger and I
do
didn't have a
remember
computer.
that. I do remember that day. Listen, sometimes we got to fly by the seat of our pants.
The good thing phones these days are pretty much acting like computers, so at least I'll have a little bit of notes. But because we rushed on, that phone is like back there that I cannot grab right now. But yes, we got to take a break, so we will be right back. Get a chance to collect ourselves, and hopefully my computer wants to work with me and everything like that. So we'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake up in the den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. This is every Monday morning. Thank you for tuning in, albeit a little late this morning, as we were both stuck in traffic, very odd traffic. But we are here now, and yeah, it's been a fun little start to the show. As if anything, I'm just happy that my voice is here because I hosted like our annual reindeer group Christmas party yesterday.
I was going to say, this is like the time of the year for the reindeer gang,
This is the reindeer gang, although we were missing one reindeer because he wants to be on vacation right now.
He's a little too cool for school, I guess.
So it was like our little reindeer party, but we played a lot of games, and I did not have a microphone, so it was a lot of yelling in a way. But it's a good thing. Projecting.
Yeah,
that's a good.
Yeah.
That's actually a better way because it's like that's what I do, and I'm fortunate that we do this every day, and I talk every day, so my voice and my vocals are pretty much in shape. So I'm glad that I have like my voice still, because I was a little concerned last night that it would be like, so everything would have been shot this morning. I would have been like the super raspy of raspy, but she's doing okay so far. So we're good. But yes, I hope everyone had fun, and we played some bingo or some Christmas song bingo. Some little elf name tag game. I don't know. It was a bunch of stuff. Everyone had a lot of fun. We changed it up a little bit this year. So, yeah, that was a fun time. But this weekend, and we were just talking about this during that break, Paul, is like this weekend has just been flying by. It feels,
insane.
As if we already talked about the year flying by. But this weekend, because I was like you, I'm like, all right, trying to think of the rundown. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, we're gonna talk about the men's basketball game against UTEP, and I feel like that was like the Wednesday, right? That was just Saturday. Everything was just happening. I think it's because you add in the marathon, and then I had the stuff yesterday, and then the games, and then there's still a lot of football stuff, and then we're still gearing up for Hawaii football, and that'll be next week, and it's just a lot. So there's a lot to get into. Some NFL, as if the NFL already had like its crazy parodies that we've been talking about.
Go Saints, go.
Yeah.
As somebody who needed them to win to improve their draft pick, anytime a bad team wins, other than the Jets, good job, guys.
The Chiefs officially eliminated, and unfortunately, Pat Mahomes, though, torn ACL. It made me think, and we'll get into more of this a little later, but it made me think about it. I'm like, man, I wonder who it was that sold their soul for those 3 Chiefs Super Bowls, because this has been like...
I mean, I'd sell my soul for 3 Super Bowls.
Who, if they sacrificed Patrick Mahomes for the 3 Super Bowls, because
happened to Brady too.
This season has been like insane for the Chiefs. Like normally you see teams that are that successful have a tiny drop off, but man, first time to miss the playoffs in 11 seasons, and your star player is done for the season, and hopefully they'll get him back in time for the start of next season.
He probably misses the start of next season, right? Does that feel insane to say? It's December. ACLs are probably 9 months.
8 months. So, and they have good doctors and physical therapy. So.
In that sport, I don't know if I'm testing it at 8 months and good doctors and blah, 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 especially in a league where they consistently want to kill that guy. I'd be terrified.
He might just have to stand in the pocket a little bit more for the first few games.
We'll see how it'll change him. That'll be an interesting thing about him. Like we said, we'll talk about that later. Shout out to our Colin Schaefer, though, who did bring up the Chargers are the ones who knocked the Chiefs officially out of the playoffs with that loss.
Yeah. Of course, Colin had to throw that in there. Hey, I get it. It was a good overall NFL weekend because the Bears laid a smackdown and the Green Bay Packers got beat. So the Bears are number 1 again, baby. Let's go. Number 1 in the NFC. All right. But we do want to keep talking about some football, but I head over to the college side for a little bit because want to give a shout out to, as if we couldn't give him any more shout outs. He just keeps racking up all of the accolades, and that would be Mr. Kansei Matsuzawa, your University of Hawaii football kicker. Just announced this morning that Kansei claimed his 3rd first-team All-America honor, making the AP first team. And on Saturday, if you guys had seen, Friday, if you guys had seen the College Football Awards, Kansei also got the Walter Camp first-team honors, which that's why it was that much more of a dagger and just one of those, all right, we're going with big brands, I see, instead of our University of Hawaii, because it was Oklahoma's Tate Sandell that walked away with the Lou Groza Award this year and not Kansei Matsuzawa, where, all right, Paul and I were talking about it before where, you know what, I get it, like Tate Sandell, he had like all those kicks from further than like 50 yards, yada, yada, yada. But it ain't our fault that our offense gets closer, so Kansei doesn't have to constantly kick that far away. And it was just, and at first I was able to cope a little bit with it, but when I saw that he got first team Walter Camp, and then now I see that Kansei gets first team AP, which are kind of like the top long-standing college all-team yada yada yada. Because he got CBS, and which is great. You know, I don't want to shy away from saying how awesome it is to still get first team for that as well and other accolades. But the Walter Camp has been around forever. And then the AP, I mean, there's a reason why everyone refers to the AP top 25 poll in college football. And for Kansei to make first team for those and not win the Lou Groza that goes to the best kicker in college football, which if you're on the first team, doesn't that mean you're the best kicker in college football? So, you know what? The Oklahoma brand, but knowing Kansei, he's a team guy. And you know what? Doesn't need an award to tell him that he's the best kicker in college football. Let's just say that.
No, he absolutely doesn't. It's definitely frustrating that he wasn't able to get the Lou Groza. Unfortunate as well, but in general, the AP All-American and the Walter Camp All-American first team to me was more than telling of what the thought around football is about Kansei, and that to me matters just a little bit more. And that's not to take away from the Lou Groza Award, which is a very prestigious award, very great for Tate Sandell, blah, 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 blah.
Lou Groza was nicknamed the Toe.
That's what was frustrating to me. I'm like, how are we not giving the Tokyo Toe the
Toe?
Anyway. But in general, it just continues to show the respect around football that people do have for Kansei Matsuzawa and what he was able to do this season. I sit here and the stomach is in my feet because I still think about that last field goal. Oh. And, it's funny because I sit here and I almost blame me because I was sitting there and I'm just like, wow, this is going to be the record. Like in my head, I didn't say it out loud. I will say that. But like I'm like, wow, they did a nice job where it's like they got it within like decent range and whatever. Okay, like good job, guys. Like you were saying, it's an opportunity thing to be able to get that close. Whatever. Every time Kansei was called upon, needed, he stepped to the plate this year. Incredibly glad that he got both of these. In my mind, they are the things that will sit in history for a long, long time. And also, I put this out on social media. Last time this happened, last time a Walter Camp first-team All-America place kicker did not win the Lou Groza Award, it was back in 2017. The first-teamer, Daniel Carlson, and the second-teamer, Matt Gay. Both of them went on to have pretty solid NFL careers, still kicking. So overall, I would sign up for that if I was Kansei Matsuzawa to play almost, 8 years in the NFL, and Carlson looks like he's well on his way to more. So I don't know. I would love that for Kansei.
Yeah, and just thinking about how this is the first time that a UH football player has made the first team for
Ever.
Walter Camp as well. Yeah, ever. And I know some people might be thinking like, wait, what about like Colt Brennan, second team, right?
Devon Best as
Devon
well.
Best was second team. So this is the first time ever for a University of Hawaii player to make that All-America first team in Walter Camp. So that says a lot. And again, with AP, we might have to go look at the history of AP. I can imagine it's similar to Walter Camp as well.
Al Noga, the other back in 1984 or something like that. I don't know. Paul wasn't alive. We'll put it like that. But either way, yeah, Kansei. I'm pretty sure he was the only non-P4 player on the first team of any position. So that just kind of continues what our conversation was before about how difficult it is to break through the autonomous four bubble and whatnot. So for him to do so, it just speaks to how incredible of a year it was for the Tokyo Toe.
Yeah, and apparently the only cool thing about Tate Sandell is
he wears short shorts
and at least
kicks long field goals.
Kansei wins the t-shirt battle of the short shorts. And okay, you have short shorts, but Kansei had Japanese kanji on his jersey. So
yeah,
that's both, way cooler.
They both have like fun
style.
Whatever. I will say this, like Tate Sandell is a lefty. So that did change a little bit for me where I was like, okay, at least he's not losing to a scrub, It's like, all right, we have a funky kicker as well who's like, he hits long field goals. I didn't feel like, oh man, like they gave it to this Georgia
like
Tech
if it was
kid. I was going to be livid. Tate Sandell, I could talk myself into where I was like, all right, fine. But Kansei, I thought he had it.
Well, and that's why I was able to cope until I saw that the Kansei made those significant first team All-America, and I'm like, dang it, he should have won the Lou Groza then. But nonetheless, I know, again, Kansei, he will be just fine. Like, he is focused on the team sport. They're focused on the Hawaii Bowl and looking to potentially upset Cal coming into town and look towards an NFL career for sure for Kansei Matsuzawa. And you know what? And again, I think he's taking it with stride. At least Hawaii fans can be proud of him that he's not going all Diego Pavia across the internet because it's kind of embarrassing.
So, I could have told you this was who he was like 2 years ago when Hawaii played him. Because you guys do remember that, right? He was at New Mexico State.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Warriors played against this guy. Beat him, too. Like, it was just, I don't know. He's a joker. He's a fun player. Like, I don't want to take that away from him. But he just kind of feels like a rewashed Johnny Manziel-esque, like...
But at least Johnny Manziel actually won the Heisman when he was a freshman too. But
Johnny Manziel, we can have a whole conversation about his playing career versus his decisions off the field that hindered his playing career. But I don't know, Pavia. I know a lot of people across sports media are very pleased about the result in the Heisman.
Oh, yes.
Just both from on-field play and from who it will represent, who the Heisman will represent going forward. I think Mendoza was more than deserving.
Oh, yeah, 100% Mendoza. I mean, we talked about him before that he graduated from Cal and he transferred to Indiana because they had a good business program.
Did it, for the most part, the right way.
Yeah, he's the epitome of what is still a student athlete that is left. I mean, yes, he's getting NIL and whatever compensation, but overall, I mean, if you guys watched even a portion of his speech, like his mom has MS and he gave her a shout out. He gave his grandparents a shout out in Spanish. And I'm like, why am I cheering right now for this guy? And now I'm cheering for Indiana to win it all in the college football playoff because I want to cheer for a quarterback like that represents everything that is still good to love about college sports and the craziness that it is. He is a good quarterback, of course, but just from a pure personal standpoint and still being a true student athlete and kind of like representing the Heisman, I would want the championship, the quarterback of the championship, national championship winning team to be someone like that, so that it could say that, hey, you could still do it the right way and still find all of this success and still focus on school and yada, yada, yada. So shout out to, Fernando Mendoza because it was all the feels for the Heisman. And yeah, Diego Pavia can just, I mean, clearly he doesn't want a spot in the NFL because if you're not, I think he forgets that they take that into consideration.
He's also 5'3". Like he might want to
and he's
consider
old,
that part of it.
Right? Like, isn't he old?
He's 35. He's 5'3", and he played 2 years in the SEC. So now he's gonna end up playing, in the NFL, obviously, because he played in the SEC. And nothing else matters in football. Anyway, sorry. No, I fell in love with Fernando Mendoza as well over these previous few weeks, just continuing to see him as both a player and as a person, like you mentioned, where his speech was beautiful. I thought it hit on all the right notes. And on top of all of it, like the day of, I mean, he set up these shopping sprees for families who are affected by MS. I think it was, I can't remember, it was 4 or 6.
Yeah.
$10,000 shopping sprees for each family, and whatever they didn't spend, it went on a gift card for those families to be able to then go use. That's the type of thing that you're supposed to do when you're given this platform. That's the type of thing that sends people over the edge in going to bat for you when, in a world of, all these athletes, they get the NIL and blah, blah, blah. It's cool that that's what he chooses to do with some of his NIL money. I'm not asking these guys to give away all of their money, but show us that we're not just throwing away money to obnoxious, entitled kids. Because I know that sounds harsh, but that is what a lot of these NIL deals are at this point is, hey, I'm going to pay you because I think you're good. And how many people get a thank you for their contributions to NIL?
Not even Troy Aikman got a thank you.
It's just, I don't know. And I'm not asking for handouts for these thank yous, for these whatevers, but it is a little heartwarming when you're able to see that. And like it reminds me back here of our guys back at home where here in Hawaii, we got a lot of really awesome guys who give back to the community. It's still important, much to the dismay of the people who don't want to think that is.
And people that are still humble in all their accolades, like bringing us back to Kansei Matsuzawa.
I was going to say, you want to talk about humble, Kansei.
So humble. I mean, even up to the starting quarterback and Micah Alihado, like he's great. And the football team was in attendance at the basketball game as well. By the way, just real quick before we go to a break, with Kansei, again, that was announced this morning that first team offense for All-America for the Associated Press. Along with that, some of the representation from the Mountain West. Making second team, so Kansei is the only first teamer from the Mountain West. Making second team, Danny Scudero, receiver for San Jose State, who, by the way, is in the transfer portal. That was posted over the weekend. Chris Johnson, the DB for San Diego State, who we always talk about, is going to have a future second team, in the Mount, or not in the Mountain West, but likely to have a career in the NFL. And Owen Long out of Colorado State made third team AP All-America. So Kansei Matsuzawa, the only representation from the Mountain West on the first team. But yes, Danny Scudero in the transfer portal, and come to the land of opportunity, please.
Both of their top receivers. Scholes, too, I think is.
But at least I wanted to make sure we mentioned that because I know the whole Jackson Harris thing was a big deal last week, so it's happening at other Mountain West schools as well.
To continue on that point, the entire Mountain West first team wide receivers selection, all three of them are in the transfer portal because the kid from Utah State also hit the portal. So it's what happens now. It's unfortunate, but it is. It is what it is.
On that note, let's take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Kukule Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel this and every Monday morning. I think Paul and I are finally starting to settle in after a very frantic and late start to the morning because of traffic, but hope you guys are having a fabulous morning as well and enjoying your holiday season so far. We are 10 days away from Christmas, everybody. It is December 15th.
Insanity.
So if you're going to order stuff online, you probably have to put that in today if you even want to remotely get close to it being in time for Christmas. But that means we are 9 days away from the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, which is something that feels like a Christmas present to all of us Hawaii football fans. First bowl game under head coach Timmy Chang with Cal coming into town, but we will continue our coverage of that throughout the next couple of weeks, getting you geared up for game day. But happening right now, we'll talk about it real quick and get back into it a little later in hour number 2. But something that happened for the final University of Hawaii sport for the year. The men's basketball team was in action, beating UTEP, a future Mountain West opponent, 66-61, which was so crazy to think that there is this long gap between when we are back in the Stan Sheriff Center once again. It just hasn't hit me yet. when we were there on Saturday, everyone's like, yeah, this is the final game of the year in here. And I'm like, wow. Because we're so, even though I know there's no Diamond Head Classic, we're just so accustomed to like being, well, at least a few more games before the new year and to see everyone before all of that, before Christmas. Now, luckily, we do get to see everyone and all of your beautiful faces of sports fans in Hawaii at the Hawaii Bowl. But last game on Saturday, and thankfully for the Rainbow Warriors, they did not disappoint, able to come back and beat UTEP 66-61. I did overall like what I saw, because a lot of the things that would worry me last season and maybe even the last 2 seasons, it's similar to like when we would talk about the UH football team, right? Like this team just seems to be able to shake stuff off. They came back, they went on a huge scoring drought and able to get back and come out with the win. They looked like they were able to deal with UTEP's physicality really well, right? In the past, I would always worry about when they would play a team like CSUN, who always had very strong, physical, athletic players, or even to an extent Irvine, right? I would always UH would seem to get pushed around a little too easily at times from some of these athletic teams in the conference. But seeing what they did, and we were able to go toe-to-toe with UTEP and come out with the win. I mean, Harry Ruliadeff, thank you, Harry, for making my take look really good so far as in the beginning of the season. And I felt like Harry would have a really good season this year because he knows his role. And, I mean, he's actually exceeding my expectations. I mean, he led the Rainbow Warriors in scoring on Saturday with 22 points, followed by Dre Bullock with 15. But what is this, like the third game in a row? It feels like that Harry has led the UH in scoring or something like that.
I was going to say,
maybe
I don't
3
know.
out of the last 5. He's been so
awesome.
consistent. So Harry did great. Aaron Hunkin-Clater, Coach E.G., you'll hear him.
Don't ever scare me like that again.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Woo, just a cramp, everyone. Just a cramp.
Don't ever do that again to
But
me.
Aaron Hunkin-Clater, and we'll hear from Coach Gannat a little later in hour number 2, but I wanted to mention it here where I was very impressed by Aaron's defense. I was impressed by his defense against Hilo, but now you play a UTEP who is a bit more of a step up. I mean, his one-on-one defense has just been phenomenal this season, so he was able to take care of the basketball this time. Thank you very much. I mean, Hawaii, just 8 turnovers. This is so beautiful.
Amazing
it's so beautiful.
Grace.
I feel like it's double rainbow. Like, it's so beautiful. Just 8 turnovers for the Rainbow Warriors. And lo and behold, they come out with a win. Crazy at that. Just take care of the basketball. This team has the ability to score. And now they did go on a little bit of a scare of that crazy drought in the first half, but able to figure things out down the stretch and come out with the win. But overall, it was good to see, like maybe hopefully get better from long distance, especially in games in conference where it will really count. 6 for 19 from the 3-point line. But again, this is a very physical UTEP defense or UTEP team in general. And I really liked what the Rainbow Warriors were able to do. And of course, coming out with that win.
Yeah, I mean, this was important in a lot of different ways, right? You now close off your non-conference schedule with your lone 2 losses coming against P4 opponents. That's notable through an entire non-conference schedule, and it's obviously important for them to continue on through the Big West schedule, but they took care of business so far, and that's honestly more than you can really ask for, considering they lost a guy who I considered to be an all-conference level player before even a minute had been played this season. Harry Ruliadeff, just to build off your point, feels like he has taken the next step to the point where I almost would be surprised if he doesn't make one of the 2 All-Big West teams. Like,
Yeah.
He has been that good on both ends of the floor, because we were talking about his offense. His defense has been outstanding as well on what has been a nationally good defense in the Rainbow Warriors. And he stepped up in a time where it seems like Isaac Johnson is kind of figuring some things out. He hasn't been the same level that he was early on in the year. I wonder if this 18-day stretch will be good for him to kind of refresh and get those legs under him before the Big West schedule. We'll see on that one. I mean, Dre Bullock has continued to just be a real solid player on both ends. I think what has surprised me most about him is his defensive impact. And then, like you said, with Aaron Hunkin-Clater, the steps he's taken forward as a floor general this year on both sides has been so important, where he sets up the offense very, very well. We've known he's a good passer since he stepped foot on campus. He's put in work where now he's a passable three-point shooter, right? Where that HPU game, I think, spooked a lot of folks. But if you take that game out of it, he's actually shooting real well from three this year. And don't look now, but after the performance this past Saturday, he's up to shooting 30% from three. And after what his start at the year was, I feel like that was just out of the question. So good on him. He's continued to take steps forward as a scorer, and his defense has been otherworldly out on the perimeter, and that has allowed this defense to take other steps as well. So it's been fun to watch. They did a great job through non-conference. The job's not finished, and there's a lot more to talk about, but I am pleased with what we've seen so far.
And I forgot. I can't believe I didn't even mention this yet. 18 for 22 from the free throw line.
Yeah, 4 misses is insane. Thank God.
81%. Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Again, take
And one
care
of them
the
was Big
basketball.
Fish.
Yeah.
Very strange. That's why I say I wonder if he just needs like a quick
was a little
reset with his
tired or-
legs or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, 80% or 81% from the free throw line. I mean, that is exactly the type of numbers. Again,
Wait,
I've
another
never.
one was Ike.
Yeah, but that's what he did against Oregon. Remember, it was so weird. Like, he missed free throws. He's one of the, like,
He's
best
strange.
shooters on the team and, like, can hit crazy threes now and then will not hit a free throw.
Yeah,
But
2 for 5 to Oregon to start the year.
nonetheless, 81% from the free throw line, 18 for 22 to be exact, and took care of the basketball. And look, this is where we come out with wins, and hopefully it bodes well for when I crash out every time when they have double-digit turnovers and then they don't make their free throws, because a lot of times it amounts to losses. And when you take care of the basketball and make your free throws against top or really good competition like a UTEP team, Hawaii comes out with the 5-point win. So overall, good performance. Thank you to the Rainbow Warriors for letting us end the new year in terms of basketball with the win and with a nice win like that. And we won't see either team, the men's or women's basketball teams, until the new year. Well, the women do have a couple of games on Maui, but in terms of seeing them in person at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, anyways, for all of you that may not be going to Maui, it's going to be a new year that we will see them when they hit the full Big West Conference slate. Again, starting off with UC Riverside. Women are at home on New Year's Day, and then the men are away. So Riverside on that Thursday, January 1st, and then Saturday, UC San Diego, which, that'll be another true test, as they've been doing pretty decent as well in the non-con, and on the men's side, hello, Tom Beatty.
It's a big early season. Like, on a serious note, that UC San Diego Hawaii game in the first weekend of the new year, are you joking? What a treat. It'll be such a fun time.
All right, we got to step aside. We'll be back to close out hour number 1 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
I think my little lei that I have here
I like
kind of
it.
matches the tune.
It's fun.
I was like, ooh, I can wear the lei, like spice it up, get in the Christmas holiday spirit with the little, I don't even know where I got this. I think my mom gave it to me. I don't know. But yeah, we've got to start wearing the holiday gear for these YouTube shows. Oh, by the way, went basketball, I saw Kyle, and Kyle said if we have a show on Christmas Eve, which we will, before the UH football game, he said he's going to come and hang out and join us in studio. So
that's
we
fun.
will have a special. I was like, you know what? It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, why not?
Let's have a special YouTube show with Kyle Galdera in studio, getting you guys geared up for the Hawaii Bowl, because kickoff is at 3. So our team has more than enough time to make it on out there for the Hawaii Bowl at Ching. So yeah, we're going to have a special YouTube show with Kyle Galdera in studio and ready to join us for Christmas Eve, to go along with our usual Monday, because Christmas Eve will be, what is that, Wednesday?
Don't ask me about days, please. I have no idea.
I'm just like all over
You
the
think
place.
I have any idea
Yes.
about a calendar?
Oh, I was right. Yes, it's next week, Wednesday.
Yes.
That is Christmas Eve. So we'll still have
And
our
it's
YouTube
Christmas
show on
Day
Monday.
and then Kwanzaa per my Apple calendar.
Oh, by the way, happy Hanukkah.
Yes,
everybody.
second day of Hanukkah today.
Yay, happy Hanukkah,
Hanukkah.
to all of those that celebrate. And my goodness, it's just flying by for everything that has been going on so far. And like we said, we had our Christmas party because, oh my gosh.
The year has just dissipated within moments. I can't believe that it's the holiday season already once again. Like you said, happy Hanukkah to all those who celebrate. Happy holidays in general, because I will surely forget, or you won't hear me before all the holidays go through. So, all of that. But, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, Koo.
We have,
The holiday spirit.
I mean, we are going to have some high school basketball finally. We'll have OIA back in action. Presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union is our OIA basketball coverage. So stay tuned for that. We were still working on the schedule, and I'll let you guys know who the exact matchup is. It should be a Wednesday game this week. So there is a lot that we are still on the calendar. And then there's kind of like that short, maybe like that last week of December heading into the new year. And then it is full steam ahead for the second half of the sports calendar year, because basketball is in full throttle. Then we'll have men's volleyball that starts up in no time as well. And then all of the other high school sports that we cover. And don't forget, this Saturday, though, before we go to break, I want to remind everyone that there is the 808 Senior Pro Bowl happening this Saturday at Waipahu High School. Tickets are available to purchase. It's $11, but it's all day of football. Again, representation from across the state. For these players to have an opportunity. These are the players that have not gotten offers, so have an opportunity to get in front of these college coaches and maybe potentially earn some scholarships and be able to play at the next level. So again, we'll have continuing coverage for the rest of this week, and on game day this Saturday, first game is at 12:30 p.m. You can go to hawaiisportsradio.com to check out more information. But again, shout out and mahalo to Fantastic Sam's Hawaii for their support of the 808 Senior Pro Bowl and supporting our coverage of such on Hawaii Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back for hour number 2 on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Guaranteed.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani, alongside Paul Breck, DJ Paulie B, on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel this and every Monday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us every weekday morning from 8 to 10, or watching or listening on demand wherever you get most podcasts, our YouTube channel, hawaiisportsradio.com, all parts in between. We appreciate all of you guys that do. And yeah, that's why you guys are always the beautiful of the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's been a wonky morning if you guys are just tuning in. We came in really late because of traffic, both Paul and I. So we're finally, like I said, we've just about got our bearings now, taking you through this Aloha Monday. Again, hopefully everyone has been staying dry and driving safe out there during this really wet and rainy last couple of 24 hours or whatnot. So yeah, it's been a wonky one. Anyways, going to get back into some UH basketball a little later in this hour, and let you guys hear from what head coach Eran Ganat and what senior forward Harry Ruliadef had to say following that nice win over UTEP on set. Man, if they had a win over YouTube, they would be having a lot of money for this.
Give me YouTube. With, you know, the "We Want Bama" signs from back in the day. We want YouTube. Give it to us. We'll take them down. Come on.
University of Texas El Paso, a.k.a. UTEP.
Also known as YouTube.
Yeah. Had a nice win, so we'll let you guys hear a little snippet of what they had to say post-game. But we were talking a little bit about the marathon. I forgot to mention this because I give a shout-out to my friend Jared Vieira, my other friend Jackie Chong, who was in there. Paul gave a couple of shout-outs to Mitch Ribeiro and Cam. What's his name? Lebel. Yeah. Yeah. That's where we kept getting it mixed up with Bailey.
Right.
Yeah, Cam is the Flabel, and then Bailey Flevel is, so Cam from the HPU men's basketball team. A shout out also to our other media friend from Hawaii News Now and Kyle Chinen, who had early morning duties covering the event, and all of Hawaii News Now for their coverage, because I watched a significant portion of it. But, you know, I heard Mr. Alan Mia and saw him at the basketball game, and he had to, he posted his bib on Instagram, and to which I replied, but apparently I didn't read enough of the caption. I took it as that he was bragging about being in such good shape, yada, 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 then how he's going to run the marathon, yada. So I told him, like I told my other friends that were posting about being in the marathon, hey, look for me just after the starting line. I'll be on the right-hand side, yada, like cheering you on. And then when I saw, when Alan was like, when I told Alan, hey, look for me, he's like, you got to read to the end of the caption. I'm not doing it this year because, he wants to give some lame excuse that, his wife and daughter had their first recital or whatever on Sunday. So.
Wait, he can't go. What time was the recital?
I don't know. He got his dates mixed up, and he got the dates mixed up. Of course. And he went to pick up his bib because he's like, oh, it's my $200 bib, so I had to go pick it up. Blah 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 blah. It's like, you're not gonna run the marathon. You don't got to give like the whole sappy post of you not running the marathon, Alan. He just wanted I told him, you just like make like that's why. Yeah, you just wanted to just be like, oh yeah, I signed up and I'm in the best shape of my life.
He knew that some people wouldn't read until the end of his post. And for our audio-only listeners, there might be a big old finger pointing back towards me with stuff like that. But even so, it's just fun to pick on Alan. We love him.
But I was just like, what? Now I have to look it up, and I didn't reread it ever since he told me to go.
You just believed him at the face value. You're like,
let's just say that if your post is more than a paragraph, I don't read the whole thing. And Alan likes to post his long, like, sappy posts a lot of the time, so I don't read past it. Love you, Alan.
Gosh, who would be sappy? Not us. Certainly not us.
And I guess his reason for leave or not doing it is, I guess it's good. Shout out Lauren and Kenzie. Fine. Yes, you don't want to miss their recital, but here. Man, what can I say? to say I trained my butt off for this year's Honolulu Marathon is an understatement. To say I was ready to tackle this beast of a marathon for only the second time, 2015 was the first, is also a major understatement. My body and mind for something of this magnitude has never been better, and even so, my blood work came back good today. It hasn't been that way for a long time. And I think that's when I stopped reading because, it goes. I
was going to say, it's the best news that I need. I
was like, great, you're going to be awesome. I'm so excited to cheer for you. And then it goes, however. It's not meant to be. It sucks to have to pull out of running this race, but there are some things I just won't sacrifice, and my daughter's achievements and milestones are one of them. So, although I'm feeling down, I'm excited to watch my daughter's recital. Here's to all the runners this year. You got this. I'm not the only one that didn't read past it. This first comment says, good luck, bro. I'm going to run this next year as my first full. All right. I'm not the only one that didn't. Because it started off so positive, and I was so happy for Alan because, like I mentioned before, when he used to run the board for the show, we would talk about it, and he's like, okay, we're going to run it. And then he had to get surgery on his neck. Man, Alan's always like, all these excuses. All I hear are excuses, Alan. Surgery on your neck, daughter's recital.
Golly. Maybe he's just old. Maybe this guy's just old. You ever think about that? No, just by the way, I also throw Alan in the same category. If you even train for long distance running, salute to you because Maya Cole is not running anywhere. I'll tell you that. I'm running the board. That's the running that I'm doing.
That's what we're doing. We're running to make it on time for the show.
I'm running to make it into the show. That's about it. That was the most I've probably run in weeks.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I joke about doing a down and back at Mediavale. That's about it, Otherwise, I don't know. Luckily, I'm not the size of a beach ball yet. We'll get there eventually. Give me time.
Okay. In all seriousness, though, shout out again to everyone that did participate in the marathon, and to you, Alan. I think we've bashed on him enough, but yes.
Yeah, no,
Alan,
seriously. If you train for this,
happy that most importantly, happy that the blood work looks good, and I will not be running in it next year or any foreseeable years. But shout out to everyone else that does. Anyways,
I'll root you guys on.
You know what I will be running for?
What?
I was trying to think of a clever way to say this, but I could not.
I was going to say
Bears are number one.
Whoa!
Bears are number one.
It's actually
in the
one big
NFC
thing to
North
talk about too.
Once again, after, like I said, it's just a fabulous weekend in general. I think because again, the Rainbow Warriors won on Saturday. Right? Like all of this stuff was happening. There was so much going on. And then the Bears not only win, but put a smackdown on the Cleveland Browns. And because Dylan Gabriel wasn't the one that was playing, I can talk about it. Yeah, I can brag about it some more and be like, yeah, let's go Bears. 31-3 over the Browns. And then at the same time, it's a good weekend and an even better weekend when the Packers lose as well. So Packers going down in Denver and convincing fashion for the Broncos as well. I mean, Broncos are proving that they're the real deal at this point. 34
No, kidding.
to 26.
Kidding,
the Patriots!
The Patriots! The New England Patriots! No, I'm kidding. Obviously, they're still good, but man, oh man, was it nice for me to call them frauds and then them lose in that fashion? Woo! Thank you, Josh Allen, that new dad or soon-to-be new dad powers, I guess, or something like that. Oh my God!
Allen doing Josh Allen things, but Bears are number one and the number 2 seed as it stands right now for the NFL playoffs. Their 2 teams after this weekend have clinched at least a playoff spot, and that would be the Los Angeles Rams and the Denver Broncos. So we've got our first.
Of them are pretty good.
Yeah, we got our first pair of clinching playoff teams. Final seedings obviously can vary through the next 4 weeks, but those 2 teams, if you're a fan of those teams, you got playoffs to look forward to for sure. There's quite a few teams still left in the hunt, but it's nice to see that the Bears are number 1 again. Still got to play the Packers one more time, but this one will be in Chicago. So come on, Bears, don't let me down with this one.
Also and this is something that we should talk about, without Micah Parsons for the Packers.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Because as much as
really unfortunate thing, actually a really unfortunate day of injuries. We talked a little bit about Patrick Mahomes in our number 1. You never like to see star players go down with injuries, especially young stars like Micah Parsons. So I didn't want to make light of that. So I wanted to have our fun and then kind of get into that part of it where that does change a lot of things for the Packers where, that defense was supposed to be a Super Bowl caliber defense. And it's not to say that losing Micah Parsons means your season is over. I think that would be ridiculous. But also, with more, I don't know what ultimately happened with Christian Watson, but I saw him go down as well yesterday. And it's, you can only handle so many injuries, and the Packers already playing in what is a brutal division. I know I don't have to preach to you about that between the Bears, the Lions, and even the Vikings from week to week, who this past weekend, they look finally alive for once, and all of these different things.
Yep, they are eliminated, so
yeah.
Only team in the NFC North now that are eliminated are the Minnesota Vikings. And you're right, so Micah Parsons, in case you guys missed it, out for the season with a torn ACL, just like Patrick Mahomes. As much as, I'm going to cheer heavily against the Packers, I say this about this when we talk about the Hawaii, our Hawaii team here playing players that are on teams that are coming over from the continent, I never, ever want to see any players get injured. No matter how much I despise that particular team, like the Green Bay Packers, like when Micah Parsons went down, it's gut wrenching because it's just any player, right? Injuries suck, and star players. Yep. And if I'm a competitive person and I want my team to make me feel like they can actually win the Super Bowl, so for them not being able to play at least the Green Bay Packers one more time with the Micah Parsons on the other side, if they come out with the win, then it's still a question mark, right? How competitive they can end up being in the playoffs. But yes, them, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs officially eliminated from the playoffs as well. First time in 11 seasons that they've been eliminated. And Patrick Mahomes, they lost their star player. I was talking about this in hour number one, that, man, those 3 Super Bowls with Mahomes and company, it's and to have this devastating of a season / this devastating of an injury to your franchise player,
sucks.
It's crazy. The football god, somebody pissed them off because to go and this whole, I don't know what that Tay Voodoo was like, but it overstepped its boundaries, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad juju this year. And realistically, if I'm making a real point about the Chiefs, I do think it's just the last 5 years of football finally catching up to them. Mm-hmm. They have played almost an entire extra season's worth of games because of the postseason, because of the runs they make to the Super Bowl. And let's just be honest here. Patrick Mahomes, I know we think of him as a relatively young guy. Still, he's 30. Travis Kelce is in the twilight of his career. Mm-hmm. And, they have Rashee Rice. Yeah, they have Xavier Worthy. Yeah, they have some young, talented players. But a lot of these guys are a lot older. There's a lot of miles on the tires. And eventually the dynasty does end because you just run out of gas. And then it's about how you refuel. And that's now the question mark for the Chiefs. And my question is, I say here, I'm are the Chiefs going to bottom out for a year and then they get Jeremiah Smith, the Ohio State wide receiver? And then that's the second act of Patrick Mahomes' career as he just gets to dominate the league with another incredible Ohio State wide receiver coming on through. It's stuff like that. By the way, this is the first postseason since 1998 that won't have either Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes. None of those 3 will be in these playoffs, which obviously 2 of the 3 are retired now. But yeah, it's the first time since 1998. So first time in my lifetime I won't have one of those 3 making a deep playoff run.
Speaking of, I saw a fun tweet also because we got to talk about this guy with young man Phillip Rivers making his return and almost coming out with the win.
What an awesome
story.
Over
a very, very good Seattle Seahawks team in Seattle. The fact that it was even a game that literally came down to the field goal. I could not believe what I was witnessing with Phillip Rivers. Now, did he have anything insane? There were some moments where you're oh yeah, he's aged, but nonetheless, he did enough that they almost beat a top team in the NFL. And then it brings me to my tweet because it's someone tweeted, it's 2025 and Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Tony Romo, and Drew Brees are all on my television because Phillip Rivers was playing and the rest of the 3 are commentators on different networks. And I'm that is so funny because it's so true, but you never thought it would be, you would think 4 of them would all be commentating, if anything. not one of them actually playing, but Phillip Rivers, my goodness. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it could not be a bigger round of applause for Grandpa Phillip Rivers, and I don't say that derogatorily. I mean that quite literally. Grandpa Phillip Rivers, who comes out and shows exactly what Tom Brady was talking about. I can't remember if it was earlier this year, last year, when he kind of talked about how we aren't developing quarterbacks anymore from the neck up, because that's part of what helped Phillip Rivers yesterday. I mean, the guy, I don't want to say sat on his couch for 5 years because that's unfair. Like, I know that's the whole joke and whatever, but he was coaching football and, like, he has a highly recruited and rated son who plays quarterback. So it's not like this guy's been completely out of football, but it shows you that if you are sharp up here, you can be effective enough because the arm is pretty cooked. Like, there's not a lot left there. But because he's able to adjust protections pre-snap, because he's able to recognize the defense and the tendencies and these little things pre-snap. And this, by the way, I mean, he was signed, Tuesday?
Yeah.
It hasn't even been a week. And he gets called up from the practice squad, and he starts. And it's like, it shows how much of it is still a mental sport. And it is an interesting topic, an interesting discussion otherwise, where it's like, yes, you can have all the physical tools in the world, but if you can't read a defense, if you can't figure out how to go against the defense, football is one of the most complex, if not the most complex sport to try and attack as an offense, I feel like a lot of times, especially nowadays where defensive coverages have become, I mean, just ridiculous in terms of their disguises and their creativity, all of these different things. So it was awesome. It was really cool. And also, he was, I hope you heard the post-game quote that he had where, first off, I mean, trigger warning with the language. Golly, Phillip said crap. Or shoot. Hope they saw that, coach. I wasn't scared. But on a real note, it was a really cool message. I thought it was a really cool day. I was glad that he made it out in one piece. He only got sacked once, and it was when his legs kind of fell out from under him. So overall,
that's what I mean. Where
all
right, he had his moments, but yeah, for the most. Well, and then there was video of like the team he coaches. They were all watching and they were cheering for him when he threw his first touchdown pass in forever. I mean, all around it was good vibes. And yeah, his post game, all the feels. What is it? 46? Is that what it is, or 44?
He's 44 years old.
44. Yeah. So 44 years young.
I mean, he's not the oldest player to throw a touchdown pass in NFL history, not even close. I think he barely cracks the top 5. So, young man Phillip Rivers.
So, Phillip Rivers, it was just a phenomenal thing to see. And I kind of, what you were saying earlier, just a second ago, is kind of what I was trying to get at on Friday's show, where we were talking about, like, people were shocked that, like, there's no other quarterbacks on any other practice squads that are better. But my whole thought was like, well, you bring in this guy who it's not hard for him to pick up the playbook and to get in there. Like, yeah, there's probably majority of the guys that are on practice squads or backup quarterbacks in any of these 32 NFL teams are physically more capable than Phillip Rivers. But there is a lot that goes into it that, like you were just saying and describing, is that you need to know the game. And that's why Tom Brady lasted so long and Aaron Rodgers, is because they can read these defenses and they still have enough of arm talent. But like, say that that play lives rent free in my head when Tom Brady tried to catch the pass and he like ran on the outside.
You just see the athleticism is not quite what it used to be.
The good thing Tom was a quarterback for sure, because he has the height to be a good receiver, but that's
I was going to say, one thing about Phillip, luckily during his prime, it's not exactly like he was some scrambling quarterback to begin with. True. He's always been happy to work from the pocket. I wonder, speaking of the prime Phillip Rivers, I wonder how it felt for Colin Schaefer to see Phillip Rivers play again.
Oh yeah, Chargers throwback.
I wonder if that was a little bit weird. Anyway.
That was I like that little Chargers callback right there. But yes, the Seahawks just escaping by a field goal over the Colts, and I'm by a field goal, I mean a game-winning field goal, 18-16 over the Colts. But man, the Colts keeping it close and very interesting and entertaining. Niners coming up big over the Titans. Man, Panthers, I thought you had it. Like Paul said, the New Orleans Saints.
Go Saints, go.
Go Saints.
I hope the Saints beat the Jets, too. At this point, We need that top 4 pick, top 3 pick. Keep on moving. I would love, by the way, I need the Raiders to beat the Giants. Like air to breathe. That would,
He also tried to have some faith in your Jets in our quick picks, and that did not.
Listen, today, war is over. Goodbye, Steve Wilkes. I know you're a nice human being. I wish you all the best. But holy cow, the Jets fired the defensive coordinator today. Thank God. It is the most lifeless, least creative defensive scheme. You or I could put together a better defensive scheme, and we've never played tackle football in our lives. So I just, thank God. See ya.
Hey, I get it. That's how I felt about last year's or the last couple of years with the Bears and the defensive coordinator. And wow, what a shock that, and I mentioned this before with the Bears, what a crazy concept that in the NFL coaching matters when you have the best talent in the world, that coaching actually matters. Because I was just talking to, he's last night at the party, he's a Chargers fan, and he only keeps up with Chargers games, so he doesn't necessarily pay attention to the Bears games, but he's like, man, what's up with the Chicago Bears? Like, how are they all good all of a sudden? Like, Caleb Williams was so horrible last year, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, coaching. That's all I can say.
Funny enough. Who would have ever seen it coming? Ben
Johnson and company have completely turned around what is pretty much the same roster that they've had and is able to I cannot believe the Bears have 10 wins right now. Right now, in this part of the season, too. Like, there's still a few weeks to go. It's similar to when we talk about our UH Rainbow Warriors, where they had clinched a bowl game so early in the season.
You don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, what is going on?
That's how it's the
here?
Bears. I'm like, they're already at 10 wins? This is weird. There's still a few more weeks to go in this NFL season, and they're flirting with a playoff berth, and oh my goodness, and they're at the top of the NFC North. Still got divisional rivals to play, so I understand that. But like I said a few weeks ago, when they were first at the top of the entire NFC, I'm like, I'm basking in the ambiance
enjoy the ride
of everything that's going on, because they are slowly convincing me that they might be able to actually compete in the playoffs now. Because early on, I'm like, all right, they're winning, but is this a playoff team? I don't know. But Chicago, you're slowly turning around the way that I've been feeling about you.
As we were talking about just now with Phillip Rivers, Shane Steichen just confirmed that he will get the start on Monday Night Football against the 49ers next week. So this ride continues. Let's go. Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love it. As someone that's approaching 40.
What a fun year.
Yeah, as someone that's approaching 40, I can appreciate Phillip Rivers coming back at 44 years young and almost beating. That's the thing. They weren't playing the Saints. They weren't playing a scrub team, and they were playing the Seattle Seahawks, one of the best teams in the league this year, and they were playing in Seattle. So the fact that that's the part I'm just like, what? They covered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also 2 backup tackles. I don't know. Great performance.
Great performance. Of fun. All right. Wow. We're way up against the clock. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for hanging out with us this and every weekday morning from 8 to 10 and every single Monday on our YouTube. We will have a special YouTube live stream next week, Wednesday, for Christmas Eve, and Kyle Galdera will be making an appearance in studio. So that'll be fun to have a little Christmas Eve party and getting you guys geared up for the Hawaii Bowl that day or later that afternoon at 3 o'clock p.m. And then everyone is going to enjoy their Christmas day, and then the New Year's will be here in no time. But again, thank you for all of your support throughout this year and for the future and everything. And we appreciate all of you guys that can continue to tune in to any of our broadcasts and YouTube, all of that stuff. Follow us on social media, everything, all parts in between. And that is why you are the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. Feel free to text in at 808-888-KG1 at any time. That's 808-888-5481. Also, you can comment on the YouTube chat. Shout out to Colin that was here nice and early. Earlier, he said poor Jets, but big win for the Bears for Koo, and said that he loved that the Chargers kicked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. Yes, but also Paul's not feeling poor Jets anymore because if you guys have noticed, he is rooting for his team to lose at this point. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. So,
I don't know if I'm rooting for losses, but I'm certainly not
cope.
upset
There
by
you go.
losses.
There you go.
I certainly am okay with losses at this point, though there are certain stipulations. Like yesterday was a little frustrating because the defense, 48 points, by the way, they should have given up 70. Like, realistically speaking, the fact that they didn't give up 50, the Jaguars took it easy on them or something. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, though, helped me win multiple fantasy leagues yesterday. So,
well, then that's all that really matters.
Listen, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to know when I'm going down. So, not poor Jets for now.
Let's see. Hello and shout out to one of our staple viewers as well, Alex in Adelaide, Australia. Hello, Alex. Talking about World Cup. With FIFA World Cup ticket prices was another L for the common man. I already anticipated it to being that it is here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. I'm like, there is no shot at getting reasonably priced World Cup tickets in the U.S. Stadium. So I didn't even, my girlfriends and I were talking about it before, and I'm like, yeah, no. I already put it in my head that I was not going to go to a World Cup game because it would just be so ridiculous. And, I got to save up for a Bear Super Bowl. So
True. You know what's really frustrating is just the fact that price gouging doesn't have to exist. The funny thing is, we sit here and everyone's like, oh, there's nothing we can do. But when there is, there legitimately just is, and people are like, because it's not like this everywhere.
No.
But people are just like, it's the U.S., this is respect the U.S.'s culture, charging you out to both ends for tickets either way.
I mean, it was cheaper.
Great point.
It was pretty much cheaper to go. I know some people, it was cheaper to go see, say, Beyonce's concert in another country and travel there to go international, pay for a flight, go international, your hotel, yada, yada, yada. And it was still cheaper to go see Beyonce in another country than it was in the U.S.
Anyway, don't get me going on that.
But we can at least say a shout out to the Savannah Bananas because they're working on a secondary ticket market because you have to it's hard and nearly impossible to get tickets. But scalpers have been taking advantage of the Savannah Bananas fans because the Savannah Bananas keep their tickets at face value really cheap. I think the most affordable is no more than $50. And this is in the big stadiums to the small stadiums. It's very fan-friendly, family-friendly. But scalpers have been able to use their bots to get these tickets for Savannah Bananas tickets and then upcharge upwards of $300-$400 to some of these real people that want to actually go. So I don't know if they launched it yet, but they've been working on, the owner of Savannah Bananas said that they are working on a platform where you can only sell it for exactly face value if you want to get rid of your tickets. You can't make any more money off of it. So it's one of those, so that way true fans will only get it because you're trying to reserve and maybe you just can't go, but you want to recoup whatever money you spent, then I think that's fair. You can sell it on their
here you go.
market. And he said there's going to be like no fees or anything. It's literally 1 for 1. So that way none of the fans who actually come to the Savannah Banana, I'm like, thank you, sir, for finally being realistic about this.
There's some performer who just did that as well, where they eliminated like the way that people can scalp tickets.
Yeah.
It was super dope. And people also were in the comments kind of like, if this is an option for everyone, why is this not anyway.
Anyways.
But no, great point by Alex per usual. Alex brings up a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but just in general, massive L for the common man.
Anyways, getting back to some basketball, because I want to make sure we let you guys hear some post-game comments, as I mentioned earlier. In hour number 1, we were going through the recap of the Rainbow Warrior basketball team's win over UTEP to close out 2025. Again, the men won't be back in action officially, but they will be on the road on New Year's Day. The women have a pair of games on Maui to close out the year. And then the next time you will see them or be able to see them at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center will be on New Year's Day against UC Riverside. But the men's side being able to close it out, again, getting this win 66-61 on Saturday. So let's start off with Harry Ruliadef, who, again, led the Rainbow Warriors with 22 points and has just been having a really, really good season so far. Just don't let anyone hit your head, please.
True.
Yeah, so just we need Harry to stay healthy. But here is just some post-game comments from Harry Ruliadef, and it just starts with him talking about the physicality that UTEP brought.
We pride ourselves on getting to the free throw line, and we knew it was going to be a physical matchup with UTEP. Like, they've got a strong, solid front court, and we always wanted like that matchup too. Like, we don't want to shy away from the physicality, but we want that.
22-7 for you tonight in a game where it seemed like nobody could find an offensive rhythm in the first half. You kind of carried the load, it seemed like, at times. Talk a little bit about your mindset in a real physical game.
It's just, you got to stay aggressive. I feel like that's what it comes with. Like, guys aren't going to hit all their shots. Like, I missed my easy ones as well tonight, but you just got to stick with the process. And I feel like some guys, they're going to get going on each night. Like, it's going to be a different guy's night, and we just got to stick with it.
You guys won the turnover battle tonight. How important was that coming on in? This is a pretty high-intensity defensive team, both whether it was shot blocking or their ball pressure. Talk about how important it was to take care of the ball tonight.
Yeah, it was huge. Like, the past 3 games, we've been the best we have been with our turnovers, and I'm so proud of our guys. Like, a team especially like UTEP, like, they turnover teams a lot, and like our point guards, I just want to shout out to them. Like, they really set the tone for us, taking care of the ball, and we threw away some easy ones that we'd like back as well, but I'm just so proud of our guys for that.
Harry, going into this long layoff that you guys have coming up, as a captain, what do you feel like you want to instill to your guys heading to this break?
Probably just, rest up, like, take care of your bodies, but also, like, we get back to work. Like, we have our finals period right now, but like, our coach Clay, he says the work works. Like, we get back to work, and like, if guys are getting in the gym like the next day after a game, like, that's what it's about. Like, we get back to work, take care of our school, and we'll be looking good for conference.
10-2 through non-conference. What do you think you guys have said through this portion of your schedule about this team?
That Hawaii doesn't quit. Like, we play for a full 40, no matter the score. Like, we play one way, and I feel like that sends a message to the Big West that you don't really mess with Hawaii.
I like with how you and Gita sort of have that good thing going, especially with you playing without the ball and just moving around. What's about the connection you have with wings?
I don't know. We've got good on-court chemistry. Like, we play pretty similar to each other, being able to stretch the floor, space, and he's such a high IQ player and aggressive guy. Like, I love playing with him. Like, no matter who it is, like, I know that I've got confidence in my brother out on the court.
And even without tapping his screen, just moving out of the way, seems to clear it up for Aaron.
Yeah.
I think Aaron was just really attacking.
For sure. Yeah, he's worked so hard on his game, and I'm so proud of him. Like, he's only a sophomore, but he's got such a mature mindset, and I'm around him 24/7 because I live with him, and we just constantly talk ball to each other, and he's just got such a great focus and mindset up to the game.
So during this win streak, you guys' offensive execution has been pretty consistent throughout. But tonight, you hit that stretch early in the first half. You're stuck on 7 for a long time. They're throwing different looks at you. Coach actually let you guys play. He didn't call timeout. Yeah. So what was it like figuring out how to solve that defense?
Yeah, it was a bit different. Like, they obviously switch up their defensive and offensive scheme every game, but that's what we expect new every game. Like, a team's going to throw something different at you. You got to stick to your principles and play the right way. And obviously we were stuck in the first half with our offensive game. It's all right. We just keep moving the ball. Ball has energy, and we just get to the shots that we want. And we miss some open ones out there. I'm not worried about it.
Usually, you keep a pretty even keel, but tonight I saw you kind of emotional there, going down the court and pumping the fist, and did you feel that this kind of game? I mean, it was intense, and it was a tight battle, tough battle. That this brings out the fire in you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they were talking a bit of trash towards us when they were huddling up before the national anthem, and. Yeah, as soon as we broke away for a little bit, I was fired up. They just lit some fire in me. So, yeah, it was good.
I have a question. With so many things that different aspects and ways to explain your toughness, is the number one that Aaron's your roommate? Seriously.
Probably not.
I'll take that off.
Who was that media member there? I didn't recognize that voice. Who's that asking that final question? I
don't know. We get these transplants from the East Coast every once in a while. They come on and they'll try and they'll ask a question or two. It's strange. Who knows? Whatever. It was a decent question. Got a good laugh out of everybody. We should put that guy in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
We'll see how he would like being asked questions.
Again, I'm like, man, I'm not in the post games, but I usually recognize because the way your camera's set up is we only see who's talking. And I'm like, what voice is that? A new media member has entered the chat. No, but if you guys didn't catch it, that was head coach Eran Ganat, who was awaiting his time to be in front of the microphone for that, but asking Harry Ruledef. And yeah, you don't mess with Hawaii, Paul, via our Harry Ruledef. Hawaii doesn't quit, and you don't mess with Hawaii. And that's like what I was saying in hour number 1. We were talking about the recap where this men's basketball team, they are similar to when we talked about the football team this year, in that there is this other level of not quitting and a higher level of toughness that they have overall, that when this team gets down, it feels like they will, and they proved it this past Saturday especially, that they proved that they can will themselves back and come out with these wins, where the previous seasons, especially last season, you're like, all right, there's that scoring drought. All right, the game is pretty much over already. Like, they're going to likely lose. So it doesn't feel like the more they play these games against really tough and physical opponents, the more I'm just like, yeah, let's send the message to the Big West. Let's go.
I think one of my biggest takeaways from the non-conference schedule was the fact that Hawaii knows how to win in different ways. That was one of the biggest positives that I was able to take, because some games they won because they were phenomenal defensively. Some games they won because they shot the absolute daylight out of the ball. Some games they won because they were able to kind of get the ball inside and dominate within the paint. Some games they won because they were able to get the other team in foul trouble, get to the line 173 times. These are all different ways to win, and they've learned different ways to win as a group before you get into what I think is the most difficult part of your schedule, where you play teams that are very familiar with you. Like, am I saying they're on the same level as Oregon or Arizona State in terms of talent? No. But there is a lot of really good coaching. There's a lot of hard-fought battles in the Big West. So I think that they are very prepared, where they played teams who force a lot of turnovers. They played teams who are bigger and have great shot blockers. They played teams who are smaller and will force you to have to play some small ball. Like, it was an impressive way for them to show, all right, this is a team that is mostly complete, can win in separate ways, and that's going to be very important against a Big West that does have a lot of different units that all think that they can win in different ways. So I was very, very pleased by this. UTEP is a squad that turns the ball over, turns opponents over.
Forces turnovers.
At an absurd rate. I think it's top 20 in the nation entering this past weekend. And Hawaii won the turnover battle. Woo-hoo! And that was something that was a big concern for us going into the meat of the non-conference schedule was like, man, these guys are still turning the ball over a lot. Like, we only have one true point guard, like 1.5 true point guards, whatever. To their credit, they have taken steps forward in the places that I have thought that they were the weakest. And even when they have struggled a bit, they have found ways to still bring out victories. Now, the question remains, can they do that on the road? Because obviously they've played 11 in a row inside the Stan Sheriff Center. Things are a little different on the continent, but they have not given me any reason to believe that they won't be competitive, that they won't have every chance to win when they go on the road as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to that Saturday, and I wish there was a camera on me because I think it was Dre Bullock who had one turnover that was like really bad. Like, he shouldn't have turned over the basketball. And I was in my very emotional and exaggerating state when I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, like, it was just like, I was totally just like in my, like, I'm just like, head on the, like, hands on the head, like, just in like agony because it was just such a bad, like, unforced turnover. I'm like, and I think this was still kind of early on in the game, and it was just really frustrating because in my mind, I'm like, are we going to have one of these games again? Luckily, again, Hawaii finishing with just 8 turnovers in that game against, as Paul mentioned, a team in UTEP that is ranked pretty high in the country in terms of forcing turnovers. All right, before we go to break, I want to let you guys hear a quick snippet, though, of that guest media member for that asked the last question to Harry, a.k.a. Coach Eran Ganot, and just his initial statement following that win over UTEP.
Incredibly proud of our team, especially in a game like that. You guys heard us, the respect we have for their team, their program, their staff coming in, and this was a gritty, tough, physical game that we knew and expected. We've been in some of those, and it's kind of one of those games we got to hang in. I thought we started off great, and then we couldn't finish around the rim, and we were hesitant around the rim, and we couldn't make some open shots, which caused us to be a little hesitant. I was proud because I think when you play that, miss that many shots, I think we were 3 for 19, maybe 3 for 20 at one point, and we're really good around the rim, and we weren't. That the deficit could have been, even though it went to 14, could have been worse, but we were in the ballpark defensively. We fought on the glass. We took care of the ball. Defend, rebound, take care of the ball. Defend, rebound, take care of the ball. And in the huddles, we had great conviction, great belief, like, hey, the best is yet to come, but we cannot be hesitant. And I think Harry started that off, because then he got, it was 20-7, I think, or we were down 14, and he had an open look, and we were passing some open looks, and then settling from bad shots. And it's interesting when you don't play with confidence and conviction, or you pass up shots. It's not just the shot you pass up; there's a trickle-down effect. It's contagious both ways. And so Harry was aggressive, and we stayed aggressive, and then we finished the half well. It poured into the second half. The execution, and give them credit. They fought back too. We tried to mix some things up, and we have a lot of respect for them, and they were playing better. I said, they'd have some new faces. Then they played on November 25th, didn't play till December 7th, and you could see the jump. And then they didn't play till tonight, and you could see the jump. And we did a good job with our double teams on a really special player inside, and we hung in there. So that's where I'm proud, is that it was a tightly contested, intense, hostile game, and we hung in. We've taken care of the ball two games in a row. We took care of it against a team and a coach that's probably in the top 3 over the last decade in forced turnovers. And Harry said it right. It started with Hunter Erickson and Aaron Clater. We had so many different guys step up. I thought Dre was excellent. I thought Aaron's on-ball defense he's really gone to another level. He's doing a good job with some really good guards. So, I'm so thankful for our crowd. You could feel the pop, the energy, and I'm happy for our guys to play in that, especially the new guys. And it was great, obviously, to honor Timmy and his team. They deserve it. And obviously, we celebrate men's volleyball is around the corner as well. So, very appreciative of the win, humbled by it, and looking forward to those guys recharging. You could see there's some banged up guys on our team, and then also finishing strong, as always, academically.
And that was Hawaii men's basketball head coach Eran Ganot following their 66-61 win over UTEP on Saturday. Again, not back in action until New Year's Day at UC Riverside. But overall, as Coach E.G. was saying, just a really good win and mentioned what I mentioned in hour number 1 about Aaron Hunkin-Clater, just being able to really level up his defense and one-on-one defense. They did switch to zone. They went back and forth between zone and man, partially, I think, too, after Aaron had that cramp. Don't scare us like that again.
God.
So, like after you have the cramp, comes back in, can't necessarily move the same in terms of defending one-on-one, but they're still allowed UTEP to hit a couple of threes when they were in that zone early on. But nonetheless, came out with the win, and he limited those turnovers and made free throws. Oh, my heart is happy. Like,
what more could you ask for?
Thank you for ending this year, men's basketball, this calendar year anyways, with a game like that where everything that I crash out about when it comes to turnovers and free throws, it was so magical. And it's
Played
nice.
good basketball.
And to emphasize what Coach Ganat said, shout out to the crowd. I mean, they were really loud. Like, you guys were awesome. The energy, like he mentioned, I don't know what I forget what the exact number was, but
tick under 3,000.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton, but you felt how into the game everyone was. Everyone was super loud. Everyone that came with their teddy bear, especially too. Shout out to you guys for the teddy bear toss. Overall, what a way to end the men's side of the basketball calendar year, and then prepare for the full Big West Conference slate. Once again, the women's basketball team in Maui this week. And then after that, we don't see them at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center until the new year as well. Oh, I'm sad. No basketball.
It's all right.
It's okay. We got the Hawaii Bowl.
We got the Hawaii Bowl.
That was the trade-off.
And then it's the stretch run where we're going to hopefully win the Big West. That's the hope.
That's the hope. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to close things out here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Kool-Aid and Paul closing it out here on this Aloha Monday. Again, hope you guys enjoyed your weekend and are enjoying your holiday season so far. We should have high school basketball coverage the next couple of weeks. More HPU in action again this weekend as well. We got the 808 Senior Pro Bowl on Saturday. Mahalo to Fantastic Sam's Hawai'i for their support of the 808 Senior Pro Bowl and all of the things that they do to give and help provide the opportunities for these student athletes as well. And Michael Liscaro will have more continuing coverage this week of that. I was trying to think, for a second, like I knew there was something else that I did this week. Like we were talking about earlier, like this weekend just flew by, and I was like, why does it feel like, what did I do on Saturday? I was trying to think about, besides the basketball game, why it felt like my day was so short on Saturday. And then Sunday, I was just like from the marathon or waking up early morning and then taking a small power nap and then preparing for the party that we had yesterday. I'm like, that's right. I spent 4 hours of my Saturday watching the new Taylor Swift documentary
yes.
and the concert video. So one of my friends came over, and then we watched the first 2 episodes of the new end of an era docuseries that are out, and then kind of skimmed through the concert video, because when I went to see Taylor in Vegas, and the I guess after the first leg of the tour, you had the concert video, but then not Tortured Poets Department. So I had to make sure I watched that. And then the new acoustic versions of stuff. And I still didn't even get back to watching some of the other stuff that are new in this new concert video on Disney Plus. But I didn't expect to cry as much as I did in the first 2 episodes of the Taylor Swift series.
Oh, God.
Because, like, just how... like her giving we know she gave like the bonuses, like the $100,000 bonuses to the truck drivers, but then she wrote like these notes for her dancers and the other backup singers, and I guess gave them a massive bonus as well. And they were in tears, and I'm just like, I'm in tears because I know one of the dancers, or I used to dance with one of the dancers. He's from here, so it's cool to see like a guy from Hawaii be taken care of like this, pursuing his dream, that I've known that he was such a good dancer back in our Hyper Squad days. And I'm like, so I am all in my feelings watching all of the dance. I'm just like,
It's understandable.
My gosh, Taylor.
Leave it to Blondie to always pull the emotions out of you. Sounds like a fun weekend, though, overall.
Yeah.
Just adds on to what was a packed weekend.
Yeah.
But a good weekend.
It was a really good weekend.
Lots of
overall.
wins, lots of happiness, and apparently a few tears.
Of joy.
Of
Of
joy.
happiness.
Of course.
Well, actually, there's part of the docuseries that was of sadness, actually. So, anyways, with that being said, we got to go. For Paul Brecht, I'm Ku'ule Agbayani. Mahalo for listening and watching to Wake Up in the Den. Bye!
Home of the